Assalamualaikum and greetings to all. My name is Muhammad Azri and I'm from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, and today I will share you about my research entitled Motivation of Trainee Teachers in Conducting Online Learning Using Digital Game Based on ARCS Motivation Model. So, during the COVID-19 pandemic hit the world, schools were closed, causing the teachers and students to use online platforms to continue learning sessions. Remote learning is one of the methods used by teachers in conducting their classes. It provides an opportunity for students and teachers to remain connected and engaged with the content while learning from their homes. However, teacher motivation also needs to be given attention, especially for trainee teachers. This is because trainee teachers is lack experience than the senior teachers in conducting classes. So, and they need high encouragement to be creative in teaching. So, based on the ARCS model by Keller in 1997, 4 elements in motivation can improve the quality of learning session in the classroom, namely attention, confidence, relevance, and satisfaction. This study aims to identify the perception of trainee teachers' motivation when using digital games in online learning based on the ARCS model. So, according to previous research that proved the students' motivation for this study, a digital game entitled Stay Fit has been developed as a teaching aid to test the motivation of teachers training while they conduct the online class for physical education and health subject. The game's main objective is to provide a basic knowledge of food intake and ensure students choose the correct food to gain energy and performance at the best level. Then, the study provides several benefits, especially to trainee teachers, in varying teaching style and technique in line with 21st century education goal. So before we go into deeper topic, let me explain some overview of motivation in digital game-based learning. So, comprehensive strategy planning and instruction exposure is given to teachers to apply digital games in the teaching and learning process to improve students' mastery and facilitate teachers' delivery. So, motivation has a significant roles in one's learning session strategy. So, according to Tohidi and Jabari in 2012, motivation is a process of empowering a person to achieve a performance fully and be able to challenges and obstacles to change. So, essentially, digital game-based learning or DGBL refers to innovation in education. They apply digital games that have educational value for learning methods. So the use of appropriate multimedia elements can support the effectiveness of learning session using digital games. Then the use of digital games in education can stimulate students' mind through the use of multimedia elements such as graphic, audio, animation, and video. So through the features provided in digital games, students are motivated, much more motivated to compete with each other by collecting marks or score. From the lecture review on DGBL, studies looking at student motivation, we found the need for empirical studies to identify the novice teacher's perspective when use of digital game as a teaching aid into the learning environment. So now I will explain the conceptual framework for this study. The StayFit digital game was developed based on multimedia learning cognitive theory by Mayer and Moreno in 2003. Design principles including providing coherent verbal, pictorial information, guiding the learners to select relevant words and images, reducing the load for a single processing channel, etc. can be entailed from this theory to keep motivation in the learning process. So the design of this game follow the design principle for the development of a game. It has clear goals, achievable challenges, interaction between players and the game, rewards and feedback when players complete challenges. So meanwhile, for the multimedia aspect, this game is equipped with a combination of graphics, audio and animation that is suitable for learning purposes. The trainee teacher apply this game in a remote learning environment for physical education and health subject. So in this study, the researcher adopted the ARCS model by Keller. So it is essential to motivate the teachers and learners to ensure the continuity of the motivation during the instruction. So this model is significant for online learning since motivating learners in online class is more complex than face-to-face. To identify the teacher's trainee perception on motivation, 4 components of the ARCS model, namely attention, confidence, relevance and satisfaction. For more further info, please refer my paper to know more about detail about description for each component in ARCS model. So this study was conducted using a quantitative design study using descriptive statistical analysis based on a questionnaire instrument using a survey method. So the population involved in this study consists of Year 4 students who took the sports science program at University Pendidikan Sultan Idris and undergoing teacher training for 14 weeks. So these students become trainee teachers conducting practical training in Malaysia and teaching physical education and health subject. A total of 56 respondents voluntarily participated in this study. So respondents were then given 1 week to evaluate the fit games based on explanatory video. So based on a brief explanatory video, respondents have to give their feedback through an online survey questionnaire. So the measurement or scale of the questionnaire item in this research instrument is using a 5-point Likert scale. So this questionnaire is adapted from a manual for the use of the motivated strategies for learning questionnaire from Pinterest in 1991. So the constructed questionnaire contains 4 constructs based on the ARCS motivation, namely attention, relevant, confident and satisfaction. So the data obtained were analyzed using SPSS software to measure the mean value and standard deviation to identify the perception of trained teachers towards their motivation while applying a digital game named Steffi as a teaching aid via remote learning. So the mean value interception by Hamidah Jamal and Khalid 2015 is referred to interpret the score level. So the first construct is attention. The attention construct discusses student attention and focus in the class. Good attention and focus will increase teacher motivation in learning session. Referring to table 2, the mean value for each item is at a high level. Total mean is equal to 4.63. The findings of the study prove that the use of digital game as a teaching aid can increase teachers' motivation when students can focus and pay attention for a more extended period. So the findings of this study are in line with the study conducted by Zirawaga, Adelaide and Tino Wimbalnashe in 2015. So the use of digital game in the classroom can attract students and make students focus longer. And this in turn can increase teacher motivation in learning session. So the next construct is relevant. Relevant constructs discuss the relevance of the digital games content to be used as a teaching aid in learning session. So the content of teaching aid that are relevant and appropriate to the students and the environment is essential to to increase the motivation of teachers to produce effective and efficient learning session. Referring to table 2, the mean data value for each item is at a high level, which is 4.62. The findings of the study prove that the use of digital games as a teaching aid is relevant and appropriate to the students' subject syllabus. So the findings of this study are in line with the study conducted by Petri, Wegham and Borgato in 2017. Student effectiveness process will increase if the main content of digital games in education is in line with their lesson syllabus, and challenges in digital games can be applied to the real world. Next construct is confidence. So the teacher's confidence in using digital games as a teaching aid to deliver effective learning is essential to increase teacher motivation. So referring to table 4, the mean data value for each item is at a high level, which is 4.68. The finding of this study shows that teachers confident in the use of digital games can produce effective learning while increasing teacher motivation. So the use of digital games as a teaching aid convinces teachers to provide practical learning and teaching session for students. Furthermore, the features available are able to facilitate the teachers' tasks and increase their motivation in teaching. So the last construct is satisfaction. The satisfaction construct discusses teacher satisfaction regarding the use of digital games as a teaching aid in the classroom. So the students' positive behavior and response, exciting learning experience, and student desire to continue the learning session bring satisfaction to the teachers. The data obtained shows that the teacher's satisfaction when using digital games as teaching aid will increase teachers' motivation and produce effective learning. So the findings of this study are in line with Anastasiadis, Lampropoulos and Siakas in 2018. So changes in students' soft skill in various forms and maintaining a healthy and balanced mental and psychological increase teacher satisfaction in learning session and increase teacher motivation. Students appear to be more motivated through the behavior of not giving up, daring to try, and continuing to strive to achieve learning objectives when using digital games in the classroom, and teacher motivation also increases when their students are highly motivated. As for conclusion, four main points that I want to highlight here is firstly, the researcher found that the perception towards motivation of training teachers increased when conducting learning and teaching sessions using digital games as a teaching aid, especially in remote learning environment. Secondly, the four components of the ARCS model studied record a high mean value for each item. So this proves that the training teachers will be more highly motivated when using the digital games as a teaching aid in online learning session. So thirdly, the study also has promising implication for training teachers in finding new alternative teaching methods and techniques to increase motivation, especially for new teachers. And last but not least, the study can be beneficial to the training teachers who just ventured into education that teaches a new generation. Teaching aids that use digital integration in learning session can create a conducive learning environment and make teachers more motivated and increase student motivation. And that's all for me. Thank you.